you to put your hands together and help me welcome our next performer to the stage. How about a big round of applause for Tim Gallagher? Let him know. Timmy! Keep it going. He's coming through the curtains. Tim Gallagher!
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Hey, I'm really glad to be here. My girlfriend signed me up for this. It was a Christmas present, and I ended up paying for it somehow. I'm not sure how that worked. It worked out for her, but no, she just moved in with me and my two sons. I have two sons, a 5 and a 10-year-old, and a lot of testosterone in that house, and she's a lot of dick talk and horseplay going around, and but she got us really, she got us dialed in. She's got us dialed in, and we're calmed down now, and she's even trying to get us to eat vegetables, and I tried explaining to her, that men, we don't really eat vegetables. It's not something that we're really supposed to be doing, like we're biologically predisposed to, we want to hunt and track down and we want to hunt the stuff that we eat, kind of like pussy. And ladies, if you don't believe me, right, I bet you anything that the man that you're with here tonight, he probably knew where you lived, where you worked, and a partial phone number before you knew his first name. I'm kind of a sad man. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very sad. Very sad. I'm a depressive person, So I went to the doctor. I said, Doc, I'm really sad, It's a real problem for me, and it's taken over my life. And he looked at me. He said, Tim, it's okay. We have a pill for that ill. We got Zoloft. We'll take care of you. And he said, listen, call me if you're gonna go off of this stuff, okay? And I'm like, listen, man, I've been doing cocaine for years. I really don't need your advice. I'll be fine. And he's like, okay, whatever, so I started taking them, and immediately, almost immediately, I started feeling better, I'm like, wow, this is great. So then I stopped taking them. Why would I keep doing that? And what happens is, you become delusional, almost immediately, and by 3 days in, you've got this, there's a couple of side effects of going cold turkey off this stuff. 3 days in, you've got this weird humming noise in the back of your head. It's almost like there's a fucking hornet's nest in there, and they're in there, and it's just and they're trying to get out, and you're walking around like that all the time, and you're just losing your fucking mind. And then the rest of it, the second major side effect is rage blackouts. I don't know if you've ever had a fucking rage blackout. It's not like a regular blackout where you wake up in a fucking motel room and you're naked and you don't know who's paying the fucking bill. It's a different thing. It's I called everyone in my family last night and I told them how much I hated them, but I don't really know how far down the rabbit hole I went. The rest of it is just, it's out there, And so one day I'm 4 days into this escapade, and I'm driving along, and this person pulls out behind me in traffic, and they wanted to go faster than me, and they're just laying on the horn. And I got this fucking in my head, and they're going nuts. And I'm losing my effing mind in the car. I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be okay, Tim. It's all right, Timmy, I'm fucking singing Bob Marley songs. I'm like, every little thing is gonna be all right, and this lady's just, I'm like, oh, God, I'm gonna kill you, and she speeds off, so I chase her, I fucking chase this lady, right? And I get in front of her, and I slam on the brakes, I cut the wheels, she runs up on the curb, and I get out of the car, and all of a sudden, I'm like, it's rage gone. I'm like, holy shit, it's rush hour traffic, and you just chased a woman down. And there are people everywhere, and they're all looking at me, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. And I'm no longer angry, but I'm also not a bitch, right? So I didn't want anyone to get the wrong idea about me, so I went up and I pointed right in her window, and I said, listen, lady, you tell anybody about this, I'm coming for your fucking family. I got back in the car, and I called my doctor immediately, I didn't tell him everything that happened, but I told him some of the other stuff, you know. I don't know about you guys, but my dad was my superhero growing up, right? I thought he was like Superman. Anybody relate to that? You know? I loved him so much, right? My dad was awesome, and my dad, one day I'm playing out back by myself, you know. I'm by myself because I was a weird fucking kid and nobody would play with me. And I'm out back and my dad comes out and he's like, you know, nonchalantly opens the garage, gets the lawnmower out, you know, he comes over and he's like, looks at me, he goes to fire it up and he, you know, he hits the little fucking thing on there and he pulls it, boom! Nothing happens. He looks at me, like kind of confused. He does it again. Boom! Nothing happens. He looks at me. He's like, "Hey man, can you come over here and give me a hand? The lawnmower won't start." I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, of course. You know, like anything for you." And I go, he's like, "Hold on to this spark plug wire. You know, push it on real tight, son, real tight. You know, sometimes it gets loose. The thing won't start." There's 20,000 volts in a lawnmower electrical in an ignition system, okay? So he pulls a cord and it shocks the living shit out of me. And I'm like 7 years old, okay? I lay on the ground crying, you know, I'm losing my mind and I'm waiting for superhero Dad to come save the day. Nothing happens. I roll over and look at him and he's laughing hysterically. Laughing hysterically at me. I'm like, oh my God, you know, this guy's like ruining my life. He just looks at me, he's like, "Cry, baby." Goes inside. Now listen, let me frame it in this context. I just found out recently my father's been smoking marijuana my entire life. Now, it might not be that funny, like, sober electrocuting a kid is sadistic, all right? But electrocuting a kid high on marijuana, that's just fucking entertainment, folks. Thank you all.
You know, he had a decision to make. He goes, you know, I could go to a therapist or just pay my money for the comedy show. Yeah, so, have a little fun.